Hello again and welcome to Pearl Magazine. Tourism is considered one of Hong Kong's 4 pillars of industry. Yet since the beginning of the year, the city is struggling to attract the numbers it did pre-COVID. Manpower and cost issues are just part of the problem, but industry insiders say there may be more fundamental changes that need addressing in order to bring back not just the people, but the spending of pre-COVID times. Back in Hong Kong's heyday as a shopping destination, people used to line up outside designer stores to buy tax-free goods. And it wasn't just the stores. Hong Kong was a dining and entertainment destination, a city that never slept. Today, visitor arrivals from January to July 2023 are at 45% of pre-pandemic levels for the same respective months, according to the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The airport authority says they're currently operating at 55% capacity, an issue that affects how many people can actually fly in. Tourists from the mainland make up roughly 80% of the arrivals, likely because they can enter on land.
For summer, it's a great indication. We are at least at 80%. We are short of manpower in 3 major areas: the housekeeping, food and beverage, the cooks, the waiter and waitress, the front desk. Basically, these are the manpower that are most important because they are the face of Hong Kong. That's why some of our hotels are not able to open to our maximum capacity.
On top of the manpower issue, Casper Choi, executive director of the Federation of Hong Kong Hotel Owners, says strategy and synergy between government departments is needed to bring back tourists and, more importantly, their money to Hong Kong.
If you look at the consumption or the disposable income that the tourists are coming in, they are ready to spend. Are we giving them the guided tour so that we have coordination and link up all the attraction to our local business? So they will be able to spend the entire day full of activity and places to shop and spend money and have fun.
He adds that while mainland tourists are back at 80% pre-COVID numbers, they're not shopping like they used to, and that rather than only targeting those in the Greater Bay Area, Hong Kong needs to target those living further away.
We should be looking at the Shanghai area, Beijing area, all the other major cities in China. The rest of the world are eyeing those markets. And are we doing enough promotion? Someone who's going to take a 3-hour train ride, of course they're going to spend the night. Do we have enough bars? Do we have enough entertainment so that when they spend the whole day venturing all the different districts, when they come back to the hotel, they can continue to have fun and spend money?
Economist Gary Ng says Hong Kong has been relying on shopping as a main strategy for attracting tourists for decades. But today, it's just not enough.
If you look at Korea, the very famous K-pop related cultural export and also the tourism attractiveness, and even in other places like the soft power in Japan and also the very well-planned event-driven tourism in Singapore, all of this basically require coordinated government effort. It's not only about the tourism board. Hong Kong thus has this advantage over this part. But of course, I think it requires a stronger a coordination within the government. But I think in Hong Kong we have seen that the government has other priorities in many ways. So whether tourism has been the main target versus other priorities like housing, etc. I think that is really a balance to be made there.
He adds that Hong Kong will have to explore other ways to attract visitors to compete with our neighbors.
I mean, it could be, anything related to cultural, medical tourism is probably something that is worth exploring.
Casper says Hong Kong has the content, the greenery, beaches, shopping, dining, and culture, but questions whether it's being curated and marketed properly by the government and its different departments.
A lot of mainland travelers love the ocean. And in Hong Kong, it's not just the Victoria Harbour. If you take a little boat ride outside, we have the islands, we have the water sports, wake surfing. There is a lack of yacht operation. So if you have boats coming to Hong Kong, they have no place to park. Are we being aggressive to basically compete for the international conferences and meeting? A lot of countries are doing a lot more. They're enhancing the subsidy, helping the trades to basically steal the show.
And attracting tourists from the mainland shouldn't be the only strategy, says Casper. Other countries should be wooed by the city.
We need to really go out and seek tourists. Japan, Asian countries, Middle East, Belt and Road. They do have a lot of tourists wanting not just to visit, but do business, especially Greater Bay.
Tour guide Amy Overy has been running English-speaking tours for 11 years in Hong Kong. Her overseas clients look forward to getting a taste of Hong Kong, from iconic scenery and locations to special off-the-beaten-path tours.
These are the type of clients who are staying in the five-star hotels or coming in on the luxury cruise liners. So it's not that money is no object, but they're prepared to spend. And they may want to book the helicopter tour and some of these other very unique experiences. They want to eat where locals eat. So we'll take them to a cha chan teng, or we'll go to really vibrant and busy dim sum restaurant as well. And they usually love that.
She says her prices have gone up because of manpower as well as fuel issues, since today many of her clients want to take private car tours rather than public transport.
Walking tours used to range from about 2,500 Hong Kong dollars for 4 hours to about 4,000 for a 6-hour walking tour. Now we've had to put them up at least 20% due to guide availability, or guide shortage actually. Also, we're seeing a lot more people taking up the car tour option. So whereas it used to be part of the experience being on public transport and getting really up close and personal, with Hong Kong, this is, I would say, it's a 50% increase on what we did do.
This year, she says she's doing just under 50% of the business she used to do pre-COVID in 2018. While about 70% of her clients were from the US pre-COVID, with the rest being from Australia, New Zealand, and Europe, today she's mainly seeing people coming in from the US, and she sees hesitation from many planning trips here.
Flights are so expensive and they're very limited from Australia at the moment. So I think cost is an issue. There has been some local radio stations in Australia, when they offered the free tickets to Hong Kong, there was actually a phone in saying, well, do you want to go anyway? Is it safe? So I think the perception has changed very much. And I'm getting emails from customers asking the same thing. What's your perception? Is it okay to come to Hong Kong still? So there is a bit of a PR issue. The recent campaign, it was very much focused around the short haul market. I would love to see more in those specific areas, US, Canada, Australia, Europe as well.
The manpower issue has hit Amy's business in a slightly different way. She says she needs tour guides, and while she has people who want to work for her, they are unable to take the course and exam in order to obtain a tour guide license.
I would love to be able to employ more English-speaking tour guides. I have obviously lost staff like many others have, but it's impossible. So there are currently no courses available for training new English-speaking tour guides. There hasn't been one since the end of 2019. I have people who want to do this job. I can't legally use them. If I did, it would be a 50,000 Hong Kong dollar fine for my travel agency.
The Travel Industry Authority said the institutions which are authorized by the TIA to organize training courses respond to market demand by organizing more Chinese courses than English ones, because many people in Hong Kong are bilingual and would rather take the exam in Chinese. They added that it is likely the English version will be available in the first quarter of 2024.
Every time I've gone to them for information or for assistance, I usually don't get to speak to somebody, or an email tells me I'll be contacted in 3 to 6 days, but always underlined that I must comply with my license, otherwise I will be fined.
While Amy looks forward to receiving more clients in the cooler months, she says one issue that needs to be resolved is the Kai Tak cruise terminal.
Being able to buy an octopus card would be a great thing, because if you don't have that, you can't. Cash won't work either. So at the moment there is no ability to do that. In fact, I think there's one sort of pop-up gift store that's there when you arrive, and a tourism board kiosk, which is usually a little bit understaffed as well. So it's it could do better.
The HKTB says 18 cruise lines have been secured to visit Hong Kong this year, adding HKTB will continue to maintain close liaison with cruise lines to attract them to use Hong Kong as their home port or departure port and support them in maintaining and increasing the number of cruises to Hong Kong.
I compare it to somewhere like Singapore, and it feels like you're arriving at the airport. Singapore's cruise terminal has everything you need. By comparison, Kai Tak, it's always had this issue where, because it's not functioning all the time, it has to get up and running on the days of the cruise ship.
If Hong Kong can't solve its manpower issues and recognize its other attractions, those it might take for granted, as well as work cohesively to market them, then the city might redefine itself not just as a shopping, dining, or financial destination, but a place where you can have a little bit of everything: culture, nature, entertainment, and business, each within an arm's reach to make a visit that's unforgettable. When we return, playing catch with both children and the elderly. Stay with us. Welcome back to Pearl Magazine. The game of baseball is normally reserved for the athletic and relatively young. But a group of elderly people have developed a passion for the diamond pitch, chasing their youthful dreams while forming a bond with the young players of the sport. A fierce battle is about to begin.
We are meeting at the stadium, not for Yum Cha.
It's not just a typical game. There are old and young players as well.
Warming up, the game will start soon. I'm 67 this year. I never thought I would be playing baseball at this age.
好緊張，好開心。我第一次同一啲哥哥姐姐一齊玩，我同佢掉波，我接到佢又接到，所以我覺得好開心。咁你有冇信心帶住佢打？好，好啊！一、二、三，好！夠晒裝備嚟咁啊！
These two teams of elderly baseball players, both with an average age of 70, were trained by a social enterprise. Today, they are joined by a group of young players. On the field, their fighting spirit and enthusiasm are no less than those of the professional baseball players.
I'm 63, and of course I'm very happy. I feel that I'm still useful, and I won't be bored at home. The old and the young are in harmony, and the kids make us happy.
Some players can be pitchers if they have good coordination and good arm strength. Some are good at catching, but may not be good at running, so they can be first basemen. If they are fast runners, they will be shortstop, outfield, and other positions that require more running. The most important thing in baseball is to keep practicing. Practice is boring though. We want them to all participate and enjoy the game. So we organized a game.
I'm very excited. I gotta do what I have learned. I saw these young children, especially one 4 or 5-year-old, who has started playing baseball and has great posture. I really need to learn from them.
It's more relaxing in practice, but when it comes to the official game, I'm very nervous while holding the ball in the field. But it's fun. I have never tried playing it an entire long game.
Social worker Yun Chun Wai is the head coach who trained up this group of elderly people. He's a member of the Hong Kong baseball team. He launched the Baseball for the Elderly project in 2021 and formed the first senior baseball team in Hong Kong. They started training the second team this year and founded the Hong Kong Cross-Generational Baseball League. They organized today's game.
Today there are almost 100 spectators. I want to praise the players' hard work. The elders can learn some game knowledge from the children at the same time. So this is an intergenerational baseball game. The Hondao Senior Citizens Welfare Foundation in Taiwan has been organized an ageless baseball competition. Why don't we also train a team to compete with them? So we started to have this plan. Unexpectedly, the application we received on the first day were more than our limit. The response was very enthusiastic, but not every elderly person's body can handle such strenuous exercise. Some people will quit, while others will stay and train slowly until they are suitable for the sport.
After I get home, I usually take out my gloves because when I play, the gloves will be stained with a lot of sand, and I want to protect them as much as possible so that they look good. I have been using these gloves for a long time.
Team member Wu used to take his 2 sons to a baseball training class, and he ended up participating in it himself. Baseball has been a part of his life for nearly 30 years.
My relatives and friends are joking that we have no friends or relatives because we play baseball every weekend. After training with my kids for 3 or 4 years, a group of like-minded parents suggested that, since our kids were playing, why didn't we also play together and form a team? Then we participated in the game and we could hit the ball. We felt a sense of achievement. It's the result of practice.
Injuries often happen to athletes during competitions. Wu once injured his finger. The doctor said there are 2 types of stent surgery. One will cause the finger to become slightly curved after recovery, and the other will only remain straight. When he was making his decision, he only thought about whether he'd be able to play baseball again.
The most serious injury was the complete fragmentation of my tail phallus, and the treatment lasted half a year. I have to use a bracket to support my finger to fix it. I chose to have the curved finger because I can continue to play with gloves, but there is a disadvantage. For example, when we hit, we need to grasp the bat with both hands. After my finger's surgery, I can only use the power of my other 4 fingers, and the injured finger cannot grasp the bat. I didn't play baseball for a year or 2, and then I took a coaching class.
After retiring, Wu rekindled his passion for playing baseball. On this day, he's brought his grandson to the Children's Baseball Fun Day held by his older son.
Usually we will come to this stadium to play with our grandchildren on Saturday afternoon because we can see their father teaching, which is our parent-child activity.
I think he's amazing. I went to see him play last week. He completely ignored whether he would be injured or not. He used his body to block and catch the ball, even doing somersaults to block the ball. I appreciate that very much. But from another perspective, I wonder, what will I do if he gets injured? But he has been doing exercise so far. I want to be like them in the future and continue doing my favorite sports when I get older.
I'll consider baseball as an option as long as I can walk.
There are only a few female players in the senior baseball team. Wong started to play baseball the year before and participates in practice at least once a week.
Playing baseball is really an opportunity for me to learn to cooperate with other people and influence each other. The most fun thing is catching the ball, which is very satisfying, especially in the role of catcher. I was actually very scared when I tried it at first, and I was hit by the ball many times. My hands and feet were bruised, but after getting used to it, I felt very relaxed and able to cooperate with the pitcher. Because it is difficult to practice batting in the usual practice place, we came to this place to do extra training.
They practice frequently because they all have a dream, just like their team name.
Our team is called Dream Chaser Journey in English, which means that we, a group of elderly, did not have the opportunity to pursue these dreams of playing baseball when we were young. Retirement can be regarded as the beginning of a second life to pursue the dream of childhood. The coach said that there will be an opportunity to go to Taiwan at the end of the year and compete with other senior baseball teams. This is also our team's dream.
Taiwan's ageless baseball league has been established for more than 10 years. Currently, they have 19 senior teams with more than 600 players. Competitions are held every December. This group of senior baseball players in Hong Kong are eager to fly there to meet friends and play together.
In addition to playing well and being in good health, I also hope that if we practice well, we would like to see how Taiwan's senior team plays. At least we must have a team structure and a certain level of technique. And don't be humiliated in front of Taiwan's team. I hope other seniors can learn about our team. If they are interested, they can come to play and practice with us.
That's our show for this week. Join us on Pearl Magazine, same time next week. Bye for now.